Have you ever found yourself dreaming about starting an online business, but feel paralyzed by self-doubt or fear of failure? You're not alone! What if I told you the biggest thing holding you back isn't your bank account, your skills, or your time? It's in your head. The biggest battle isn't external, it's in your mind. And today, we're going to crush those mental barriers together in 5 steps. The first step to breaking free is spotting what's actually holding you back. Most of the time, it's not the world holding you back. It's the invisible chains in your mind. Let's break down the 3 most common chains: fear of failure, perfectionism, and imposter syndrome. Fear of failure is a big one. It whispers, "What if I mess up? What will people say?" This fear isn't just about failing, it's about being judged. But here's the truth: failure isn't the end, it's a step forward, a part of the story. Think of Michael Jordan, who missed more than 9,000 shots in his career and lost nearly 300 games. Yet, he's considered one of the greatest athletes of all time. He didn't fear failure, he used it as fuel. If fear of failure is one chain, perfectionism is another that holds so many of us back. Let me ask you something. Have you ever told yourself, "I'll start once I'm ready," or "It has to be perfect before I launch"? Perfectionism convinces you that you need everything to be flawless before you can start, that if you wait long enough, you'll finally feel ready. Here's the secret no one tells you: perfect doesn't exist, and readiness isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. Perfection isn't the goal, progress is. Progress beats perfection every single time. Why? Because progress builds momentum, and momentum creates results. So, here's your challenge. Instead of aiming for perfect, aim for progress. Start messy. Launch the unpolished version. Post the draft. Your growth comes from taking action, not waiting for flawless. Perfection is a myth, but progress? That's where the magic happens. So, we've tackled perfectionism. But what if you push past that, only to hear another voice? The one that whispers, "You're not good enough," or "Who are you to do this?" That's imposter syndrome. It's the feeling that you're faking it, that any moment now, someone's going to call you out as a fraud. It's not about what you've done, it's about doubting your right to do it at all. And the hardest part? It tends to show up not when you're failing, but when you're succeeding, right when you're stepping out of your comfort zone and into something bigger. Imposter syndrome feeds on one thing: comparison. You see someone else's highlight reel and compare it to your behind-the-scenes mess. But here's what you don't see: they've doubted themselves too. Every expert was once a beginner. Every confident voice was once shaky. Imposter syndrome doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means you're growing. It shows up when you're stepping into uncharted territory, stretching into a version of yourself you haven't fully met yet. And that's a powerful thing. Now that you've identified the chains holding you back, it's time to transform them into tools of growth and take the next step. In step 2, we'll show you how to reframe those chains. Instead of fearing failure, think of it as a lesson, a feedback, an experiment. Adopt a launch now, improve later mentality. Set a timer for 2 hours and make as much progress as possible. Done is better than perfect. Feeling like an imposter. It's proof that you're challenging yourself. Write down 3 reasons why you are qualified to start this business. Keep that list visible and read it whenever doubt creeps in. Next, it's time to act. Starting is the hardest part. But when you take action, fear starts to shrink. Why? Because you're proving to yourself that you're capable. So, let's break it down into 3 simple actions you can take today to launch your online business. The first action is brainstorming. Write down every business idea you've ever thought of. Don't filter, don't judge, just write. Ideas that seem crazy at first often lead to genius solutions later. Plus, getting it all out of your head creates clarity. Here's a small action with a big impact. Create your online presence. Reserve your business name on social media or create a basic website. Even if you're not ready to launch, this step makes your dream feel tangible. You can use free tools like Canva for a logo or platforms like Squarespace for an easy website setup. The third action might feel intimidating, but it's so powerful. Share your business idea with one trusted person. It could be a friend, a family member, or even a mentor. Speaking your idea out loud makes it real. It builds accountability and can open the door to unexpected support or feedback. Taking action is just the start. But what happens when obstacles appear? It's time to talk about resilience. Life is unpredictable, and the journey to success is rarely smooth. That's why resilience is your superpower. It's what keeps you moving forward. Resilience isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about facing challenges, adapting, and finding your strength in the process. To build resilience, first, embrace failure as feedback. Each stumble teaches you what works and what doesn't. Second, lean on your support system, friends, mentors, or even an online community. They can remind you of your worth when you forget it yourself. And third, create a ritual of self-reflection. Whether it's journaling or a quiet moment each day, these practices help you process the storms and keep your vision clear. Last but not least, keep the momentum and celebrate your wins. Success isn't a single big leap. It's a series of consistent, small steps. One step at a time, you're building something incredible. Persistence. That's where momentum comes in. The key to keeping momentum? Celebrate the small wins. Progress fuels motivation, so acknowledge it. Second, stay adaptable. When plans change, adjust and keep going. Flexibility ensures the journey continues. Finally, stay connected to your why. That vision you started with? Keep it front and center. It's your compass when the way forward feels unclear. The tools are now in your hands. The path is yours to create. Take that first step today and keep going. Your future self will thank you.